I am Nero von Hausen. Things to see. Things to see. I have donned a subtle disguise that I might infiltrate a most elusive society. Steampunk. Might these ultra-nostalgics unhinge their imagination, thus showcasing the manifestations of muscle and mind?
Steampunk is retrofuturism. It's going back in time and imagining a different future from the perspective of the past.
Come, join me.
So I ended up making this last night. It's like, didn't even sleep. And other nights when I should have just been sleeping, I don't know what's wrong with me. It's constantly making stuff. The people who like to do steampunk are the people who like to create their own things. So with this piece of, I took his legs and turned them into really pretty hands by painting the nails. And I created a wing effect with this fancy fabric that matched his pants. And then I took this porcelain doll legs and gave him some new legs.
My. Yet another bird born from personal fascination and experimentation.
I like to create the things that I was fascinated with as a child, and I lived, and still do live in a fantasy world. Gears represent that tangible item that we don't really have anymore. So people like clocks, and I do, because you see, you know, I could take apart a clock and I can see all the gears and I can say, okay, you know, I might not be a master clockmaker, but I can definitely use these gears and make something else move. All these little bits, you can see that they can do something. They're meant to create something, and you can create something new with them. This piece is called Muskrat Love. It has a real muskrat skull, real eyes made out of real jade. His ring is made out of real jade, and his paws are actually squirrel paws. Called Muskrat Love because he's there to serenade you.
Ave's delicate creations fill me with awe and terror. I thought this world overly sanitized, and yet here I've found an exquisite violence in the spirit of steampunk. This, Master Tinkerer, harkens to the gentlemen scientists of old.
My name is Jason Anderson, 25 years old. I like making things. I don't know if I can ride it. Maybe a short distance, but...
Oh yes, wheels. I remember those. Very nice.
So glad you could make it. That's my workspace. It's a coffee maker.
I see.
Well, it will be. As you turn the crank, it'll turn this wheel. And as the wheel turns, it will pump these bellows in and out. And as the pressure climbs, there'll be a spout right here, and it'll pump out your coffee into your little cup. Anyway, that's how it's supposed to work.
You must like coffee.
Oh, I hate coffee. When I take something like, you know, a simple idea, like a coffee machine, or a cell phone, or a bicycle, and I deconstruct it and make it into something that looks like it was around 100 years ago, I feel like I'm reminding other people of the promise and optimism at the turn of the century.
I think if you look at the time period of steampunk, the time period it sort of is pretending that it's recapturing. It's all that time just before mechanization, just before mass production.
A lot of my stuff is hand crank. And for now, I really prefer that. Sometimes people see my butterflies and say, oh, why don't you like wire that up or put like, sometimes people say put a steam engine on it. It's like, what the hell? I have a friend who's a hardware engineer and he makes robots, and he has an old like phone with buttons. And I said, whoa, you don't have an iPhone? That's like, even I have an iPhone. And he was like, I can't stand it. There's no hardware.
It pairs with your phone, and you can actually use the rotary dial to dial out. So it's like a rotary cell phone. It's more compact than some of the older models that I made that actually look like a giant wooden purse with vacuum tubes sticking out. You know, I mean, you notice probably as a theme that I don't like making things that are strictly ornamental. I like them to do things.
Steampunk objects tend to be much more textural. They, you know, they're made out of leather. They're made out of wood. They're made out of, you know, metal that has, you know, a buff or a grain or like that has some kind of texture. And you know, I think that's valuable. I think having personalized objects and objects that have evidence of other human beings having crafted them is, you know, it connects us to them in ways that we don't get connected to pieces of plastic or pieces of black glass.
Is the steampunk's body a contraption as well? How might one view it, or indeed adorn?
Most people are shocked to know that I know how to use power tools. I know how to take a couple of 1x4s and saw things out, drill them together, and make something amazing. These are demon wings. We're going to do a steampunk demon and a steampunk angel for Comicon this year. They had to change the dress code at my high school because I was constantly getting dress coded for my skirts being too short or my tops being too low cut because I'm scandalous, apparently. And so I thought I'd beat the system. All of my skirts, as you see, are very long. They come to the knee, but when worn with a corset, they start to floof out. And the corset gives an exaggerated shape and pushes everything up and everything out. I've been judged a lot for my looks. Either someone thinks, oh, you're a pretty girl, so you can't do anything. You just kind of sit and you wait for things to fall in your lap. Actually, I haven't been approached. I mean, I get approached by photographers here and there, or whatever, whether it's, just an iPhone or a big fancy camera. But just as someone who wants to talk to me, I don't get a lot of that. I've yet to really meet someone that I connect with on a romantic or personal level in steampunk, but I'm sure one day it'll happen. Steampunk is all about community. It's about a bunch of people coming together and enjoying this fantastic retro science fiction world.
Nathan Seekerman. I'm 46 and I'm a programmer. In my job, it's very analytical thinking. In my hobbies, I try to be more creative and find an opportunity to bring in design or color, things that do not come into play for a programmer. My ideal self is somebody that's really free of restriction or rule sets and is allowed to manage their own time and then ultimately receive satisfaction by achieving a creative goal that they set for themselves.
So here, let's just strap this on around here. Put that around your waist. Here, that go around like so. My name is Blagg. I'm a leather worker, and I'm a costumer specifically in the field of steampunk, which you know, is a really up-and-coming popular genre of costuming and dressing up. And you put the gun in your hand, and you put the hat on your head, and look it. You're ready to go. You're a man about town. When I dress up, I like the attention. But not only the attention, but I like the attention with the anonymity. People were to come up to me and say, oh, you're a nerd, you know, and maybe try and make fun of me or tease me or bully me. I wouldn't really be able to handle that. But when I'm wearing my mask, it helps me become a different character. And those things, it's almost a psychological shield. And it helps me to deal with that. All of the leather pieces that I'm wearing, I made myself. I had to learn, I had to teach myself how to do them. And I had to, you know, kind of become a different person. I had to gain skills that I never really thought that I could. But I've applied those to a thing that allows me to be somebody else, somebody who I wouldn't normally be. And because of that, because of those skills, that helps me to even further join in the escapism.
I met Will while he also does not just a costume, but as well a booth. And I started a relationship with a mask on, so we didn't know each other face to face, and then he told me about his booth, so I made sure to locate it, and that's when I actually saw his face for the first time. I think he'd be surprised how I would describe him, but Will is very outgoing, and it's fantastic.
I think I kind of became a little bit of a badass in the process.
Got it. Now we're ready for the cemetery. I was curious about the event and the organization and the people, so I decided it might be fun to journey all the way to Fresno and meet with them. I think that one fell on the floor, actually. I never felt really drawn to be around that specific group. Maybe it's just experiences from my past.
Oh, beloveds, show me the mechanism that powers your heart.
I got interested in steampunk when my father-in-law was diagnosed with cancer. It was pancreatic cancer that really ended his time with us. I'm only just going to get older every day, and it might be a young person's thing to do a character in steampunk, but for me, it was an opportunity to express some creative outlet and also allow myself to grieve and heal.
My biggest personal fear is probably being judged. It's probably why I like to wear extravagant outfits. By doing that, I'm putting on a persona. I'm putting on the confidence of that character. I'm still me, but I have that character's confidence to get me through a day.
I'm open to everything, but I don't want to be replaced. I don't want to be replaced by smarter humans, and I definitely don't want to be replaced by robots. So I guess it's just me reaching out. I should learn to work with everyone, even the robots, even the aliens that might come, who knows. But for now, I want to be relevant, remain relevant. Steampunk is helping me do that.
It is worthwhile to go up a hill for your entire life and to figure out problems. I think secretly people really like chaos. I think they love solving problems. I think we're a race of problem solvers.
As your doctor, I must confess, these steampunks are their own healers. They take their battles, their insecurities, and evaporate them into steam. The substance of things hoped for. Fuel for their dreams. Inventor Nikola Tesla put it best. Each living being is an engine geared to the wheelwork of the universe. Though seemingly affected only by its immediate surroundings, the sphere of external influence extends to infinite distance.